you have a dehydrator, which I do, I should have thought of this with my peaches. Terry has dehydrated
Strawberries,
berries.
peaches, pears, apples, peaches,
They're delicious.
apples,
Like candy.
reds and greens, definitely candy. That's honeycomb. Here's raisins.
You can dehydrate honeycomb?
No, sorry, it's just it's not dehydrated.
Okay, confused me there. Yeah, I have some honeycomb too, but I never thought of saving it.
These are pears. So what you do is, once they're dehydrated, buy the food grade silica packets and throw 1 or 2 in,
And that keeps them fresh.
and it keeps them fresher.
So I never thought about dehydrating grapes and making your own raisins.
You have to make sure there's no moisture because they will go bad, so they have to be able to crunch.
Okay. Yummy. Let me see those raisins again.
Okay.
You put me to shame, girl. Oh,
Oops.
those are beautiful. And what are those flowers you have in there?
Those are all my herbs. I have,
Okay,
here's
so
here's the raisins. Those are sweet, sour little, they're Goldens.
Wow. You dry your herbs, like in a brown bag or?
On the dehydrator.
Okay.
Dandelion, calendula, nettle seeds, nettle leaves,
It's like a little
Hyssop.
apothecary in here.
hyssop, nettle seed, rose petals,
You dehydrate rose petals.
dandelion. So
And
this is calendula.
How long do you?
They'll last a year, and I just make tea out of them in the winter because it's nutrient dense, and they're cheerful. So in the winter, when there's no flowers around, you throw these into your hot tea in your French press. Put it in the French press. Let it cool down. You can refill it all day. You don't. It's not like a tea ball. You need to infuse them, so you leave them for even overnight. The longer you leave it, and then you can get 2 or 3 batches. Put it in your French press. When you're ready to drink it, you just like a French press.
Brilliant.
Pour it out.
And how long do you have them in the dehydrator, like overnight or?
Everything is different.
So you just have to look it up.
If you pull off if you dehydrate the buds, they take longer to dry than the actual flowers, the petals. So you have to do it long enough to dry the bud, not just the petals dry faster, but the buds, because they're thicker, you have to make sure that they're dried. Or some people just pull off the flowers, the petals, and do that. But I like the whole thing.
Yeah, I like
Plus
the whole thing.
nutrition, there's more nutrition in there, so you have to harvest early spring when they're at their prime, early in the morning when the sugars and the moisture is the highest, and the brand new baby buds, and they last the longest.
That's so cool.
And if you dehydrate them right away, then they retain their color better.
Very helpful.
Strawberry, raspberry leaves, they're packed full of minerals and vitamins, and oh, they smell amazing.
Yummy.
And then you just make these in your infused tea. So I just throw all of it in there.
I never thought that strawberry leaves would have.
Strawberries and raspberries and blackberries, all, if you get the first growth, the first early spring tip growth, it's packed full of nutrition, highly medicinal, highly edible, and why not? It grows wild everywhere.
You just make your own
Loads of
tea.
it. Make your own tea. all
And the
winter.
borage as well.
Borage leaves, I really love the borage flowers, are beautiful. This is purple nettle. It's a weed. It grows, it blooms early spring. Really pretty flower, and this is one of my favorite. It's called dead nettle or purple nettle. Excellent tea. Throw these in, packed full of nutrition for all winter. Keeps you healthy. We'll need this. We need this vitamins and minerals, nutrient dense vitamins and minerals from good soil. There's your health right there.
This is in Terry's garage where it's nice and dry, and if she has massive amounts of herbs and such that she wants to dry.
Get the zipper because that way it doesn't spill and it keeps the flies out. And then the way I shake it is I just do it like this.
Uh-huh.
And then you can you can shake them around so that they dry evenly.
Brilliant.
Like the small things, like the tomatoes, right in here, or the big ones, the bigger capacity. Then this comes apart so easy. You have a whole selection of blades. You can adjust the size of the cut. And then while I'm processing it, I just set that there and then pour it straight onto my screens. Boom.
Wow.
Lay them out and it's gone. Like I can do, this will fill 4 jars of the dried, 4 or 5, depending on how tight you pack them.
So you slice up your peaches with that.
Pit it.
Pit them first, of course.
Accidentally ran a pit through it and I...
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. So, you
Yeah.
pit it, put it in there, throw this back together. Couldn't be more easy.
And what brand is this?
This is it's the same Breville.
Yeah. How
Here it
much?
is. I
How
don't know
much
if you
does
can
it
see that.
cost?
It's expensive, but I tell you, I cut off my finger. It cost me more than with the mandolin.
With the mandolin, yeah.
Cost me more at the emergency room than that. That's paid for it, and I use this all the time. And it has so many. You can make bread. You can make all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so it's multi-use.
It's multi-use.
Yeah, mandolins scare the hell out of me. I won't use them.
100 adapters in here on things you can do. You just switch out the blade on top.
Okay, so it's an investment for a farm wench.
You know what? I saved up my I bought myself that for Christmas. The things are in the garage, but it's a whole container of different. You can shred, dice, chop, make bread, whip. Breville.
Well, I'll just steal yours.
Yeah. Good luck. So it's a steam counter. You boil less water. You put your jars in there on top of the screen, 6, 7 jars, and you put them in there and you bring it to a boil. And when the steam blows out this little steam hole about this far, about 8 or 10 inches, then you time it whatever your recipe says, probably 30 minutes. So all you need is to build up the steam in here. And if your jars are warm, if you fill your jars, you put your sugar syrup or whatever in it, and you put them warm in here, it boils faster. So you don't have all that. You're only boiling this much water, not
Instead of
the whole
that
bath.
big, yeah.
Instead of the whole bath.
That's
And
very
it's
cool.
easier to see, so you know when this is steamed, you can time the minutes.
Excellent.
If it's blowing steam out so many inches.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Yeah.
That looks affordable.
Definitely.
Nettle.
This is nettle. All of those jars came from this stuff.
Wow.
So here's the nettle seed that I started, but of course it's very slow. And then we got friends. So you just take these seeds off. Don't eat the leaves.
Right.
Take the leaves out, then you have the seeds. And then what I do is break it up, and you can hold more in the jar.
Very cool.
So this is just a fraction of the nettle crop I have out there. Then here's my
Oh, that's a nice.
Excalibur.
Holy cow.
So this morning I dehydrated peaches, but they weren't quite crispy, and I get worried about them because you'll lose a batch. See how they didn't crunch?
Yes.
So I put them in the jar, and then I decided they needed to do more, so I just put them in here.
Yeah, my dehydrator doesn't look like this. I've got the stacking plastic
So
thing.
the screens are in the house, but the screens slide in here like this,
Ooh.
and then you have, this is my dad's dehydrator. This is probably 30 years old.
Wow.
It's not temperature regulated. So I do things that I'm not so worried about temperature. It's just high, medium, or low. I don't know the temperature on that. But this, I don't know if you can see it, but you have to step on the stool.
Oh,
See
wow.
this chart?
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
you can do your live foods. and then you can go all the way up to meats and jerky. So
You can make yogurt.
You just set your temperature, and then this is the fan, and it'll run for 24 hours, and I just keep it going. The beauty of this is that you don't want stuff to stop, because then it absorbs the moisture from the air.
Right. And how much would something like this
I think
Excalibur
it was
run you?
400?
400? Yeah, I won't be making that purchase anytime soon, but
Better
someday.
Google it. Maybe they're cheaper now.
Okay.
So the front comes off, and you can get, so go with the larger one so you have the more screens that fit in here.
That's nice.
But I just threw the whole jars in here right now.
Yeah.
But normally you would not dry them in jars.
Right. Oh.
They've just had peaches come out of it, but when you've got your dried fruit on there, you bend this over and it peels off really easy because this is flexible.
Yeah, that's not,
And then it
mine
goes-
doesn't do that well because it's not flexible.
No,
Yeah.
well, so this goes straight in the dishwasher. And
Wow.
the flexible, plus you can get it flexible and then make this and then pour it right in the jar.
Oh,
So when I do my
easy
borage,
peasy.
when I do my borage flowers or whatever, you just put them on there. When they're ready, you just roll this up, make it into a funnel, drop it right into your jar. You're done. And if it's sticky fruit, the more sticky it is, the more it sticks. See the peaches on there? It peels off better if you can bend it.
That's nice.
So-
Maybe I'll have to invest in that. It does.
It's worth it.
It's worth it, yeah. This is food grade plastic. These are good storage. This is the alternative for storing foods in the freezer.
Yes.
And
So we'll
what's
show
so
it.
cool about them is they're stackable. You get serving size, and look how great that is in the freezer, as opposed to the plastic bags, which are just kind of willy-nilly, schloss-dicular, a pain in the butt.
Put a piece of tape, mark it with the Sharpie, and then when you wash it, that tape stays on, but the Sharpie goes